Hey guys, DiehlGames here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to overclock your computer's graphics card using MSI Afterburner. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is open up this link in the browser of your choice. It is msi.com/page/afterburner, and I'll have that in the description. Then you can scroll all the way to the bottom of the page where you will find the download link. So I'll go ahead and download the most recent non-beta, and then for some reason I've got a warning on this file, but I'm going to accept it because I'm going to assume that MSI's server is safe. And we'll go ahead and open up that zip archive. Then we'll navigate into this directory here and run the installer. English for me in the USA. I accept the terms of the license. I'm not going to install the RivaTuner statistics server, so I'll go ahead and uncheck the option for that because I don't need things like frame rate monitoring, OSD, etc. Then I'll hit next, install to the default directory, that's fine, install, and then it'll just take a few seconds for the installation to complete. And then I'm going to uncheck the option for showing the README file, but I will go ahead and run the application and hit finish. Close out of my zip archive because I don't need that anymore. And then I'm going to go ahead and minimize my browser window. Alright, and now we're in MSI Afterburner. I want to change up a few things in the settings. So I'm going to make sure everything is looking how I want it to here. This is the place where if you wanted to, you could unlock voltage control to turn up the voltage on your graphics card. On some graphics cards, they're going to be locked to a point where options like this will not work or won't do anything, or it might look like you're changing the voltage control, but you're actually not. So just be aware of that and make sure you do some Googling on your specific graphics card model about voltage unlocking and voltage overclocking. In the user interface section, I'm going to go ahead and just change the skin to this one here all the way at the bottom because I like that one. And then I think just for the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to leave everything just about the same as far as the settings. I am going to go ahead and turn on Start with Windows and Start Minimized as well so that my settings are applied whenever I log into Windows. And then if you want to, in the fan section, you can also go ahead and enable custom fan curves, which will allow you to change how the fan operates. I am going to leave my fan on auto, so I don't even have to mess with it, but you can if you want to. Now, in the main page of Afterburner, you can see we have a few settings that we can do here. And I think the first thing I want to do is go ahead and turn up my power limit by 10% or so. We'll start there. That should be a pretty safe bet. And the key to overclocking is to do everything in fairly small increments. I have a 2080 Super, so that I know a plus 10% power increase is going to be okay, and I think I'm still going to be well within my temperature limit. And then I'm going to go ahead and crank up my core clock by about 30, and I'll type that in because the slider is very hard to use on numbers that large, but I'll take my core clock up by 30, and you can see here we've now got a GPU clock of 1650. Go ahead and apply that overclock, and now it is going to use that plus 30 on the core. And then I think I'm also going to go ahead and turn up my memory clock by about 100 or so. 109 should be fine. Go ahead and stick with that for now. And you want to turn up your core clock and memory clock slowly as you go, and try to find a point where you're still stable and your PC isn't crashing, your games aren't crashing, etc. And also so that your GPU isn't going to get too hot. Now, the maximum core clock that you're going to be able to reach on your particular GPU is going to be entirely dependent on how hot your card is getting. The silicon lottery, which is basically a concept where every computer CPU or processor performs differently. So different graphics cards, even of the same model, are going to have pretty different performance characteristics in some cases. So you might have a card that's identical in model to your friends, but it might overclock by 100 megahertz less than theirs. It just depends on the silicon lottery and also how hard the how hot the graphics card is running. All right, so we've got our overclock at 30 right now. Let's go ahead and fire up Minecraft with some shaders. Okay guys, we're back here, and as you can see, I've got Minecraft running with some shaders. And I'm going to go over to my MSI Afterburner and hit detach right here to break off the monitoring panel. Okay, and it looks like my GPU is now clocking up to a solid 2010. It ramped up to 2025 right when I first started the game, and now it seems to have settled right around 2010. And it seems like the game is stable. It doesn't seem like my PC is going to crash or anything. And my GPU is sitting right around 60 degrees Celsius, which is perfectly within my thermal limits. Of course, you'll want to look up the specifications for your particular graphics card and see how far you can go as far as your power limit and your temperature limit, so that you don't push the card too hard. Anyway, let's go ahead and close out of Minecraft now and turn up our boost clock a little bit more. So I'll quit out of Minecraft, and now let's go ahead and turn it up by another 30 megahertz. So we'll go plus 60, and then we'll fire up Minecraft again. Okay guys, so I'm back here in the game, and as you can see with it running, the card is now boosting all the way up to a solid 2040 megahertz. So that is a real nice clock speed bump over factory. And I happen to know that with my particular 2080 Super, I can't get much above plus 60 on the offset before I start running into stability and temperature issues. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. You may be able to get more performance out of your graphics card, so be sure to keep trying until you run into stability issues, and then dial your clocks back just a little bit to where your system is stable, and you should be able to get quite a bit of extra performance out of that new graphics card. Hope you guys found this tutorial useful. Until next time, I will be seeing you guys later. DiehlGames, signing out.